Welcome to Dude.
Yes, welcome.
Where's my comic? The best comic podcast about a menagerie, if you will, of popular comic books. This week,
menagerie.
And this week, we're searching for the Epstein client list.
Yes,
Can't be found.
We have to go to
Doesn't
Niflheim.
exist. I'm not on it.
Me neither.
if it exists, I'm not on it.
I'm Jack, and I don't think we should be worrying about that right now. There's a lot of other stuff, like Niflheim, that we need to...
Do you mean Muspelheim?
Yeah,
Niflheim's where
whatever.
elves live.
That one, No, I'm just saying the fact that I don't know what it is means that we probably should be focusing on that instead of...
My thing is, if we focus too much on the list, we're going to forget all the great things Surtur has done for us.
Yeah, that's true.
And
Even if Surtur is on the list, like, he's still doing good things.
right,
And the big thing, too, is it's like, if Surtur's on the list, I feel really bad, because then it's like, was Surtur just, like, at a dinner with Epstein? Was
Yeah.
Surtur just, like...
could ruin a lot of lives.
I think
pick
Odin.
this-
I think Odin will forgive Surtur.
That's-
whatever he did. I think Odin's going to forgive him.
Also, Surtur.
I hardly know it.
Well,
I swear. If I'm on that list, it was because of a dinner I was trying to get.
It was
more.
consensual.
I'm Jack, also. And this is Little Beavers. Little Gail Beavers. And I'm anxious to see that every man in America is on the Epstein list. That's why a good amount of us have been pretty nervous the past couple weeks.
The Epstein list. Trump did this whole thing during one of the press conferences where he's like, "Who's on the Epstein list? It could be you. It could be you. It could even be you."
Every man in America was like,
Yeah.
a private plane ride? How could I say no?
I'm Trip, and I have a message to all our female listeners. If your partner, who's a male, has been acting strange, he's on the Epstein list.
That's true.
There's no other explanation for
100%.
it.
He's not getting you flowers. He's on the Epstein list.
That's a good point.
Even if he is getting you flowers. And he's 35 years older than you.
He could be trying to apologize for the fact that
Oh,
he's on the Epstein list.
secretly.
That's the worst crime of all.
If you're underage and watching our video,
Turn
Get
this
off. This
well,
I
yeah,
labeled
you
this
do
not
your
for
homework.
kids.
walk.
Get out of here.
No, let him walk. I didn't think we have a larger appeal than I thought, if that's the case.
Oh, welcome then.
Oh,
Or if you're my cousin, thanks for tuning
Thanks
in.
for tuning in. My name is Wyatt. I am interested in all forms of horse cyborgery. So this week, I guess we got to finish introductions. Who is this strange floating
Is
person?
I, Bilbo Saggins, because my skin is sagging because I'm old.
no.
Oh, the old Bilbo.
No, he's pretty good, though.
Yeah.
He's got the ring.
Well, after he lost the ring.
yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
That's
isn't
what
that-
no,
sagging.
no, he has the ring at this point.
I bet
Okay,
that picture where he's like, "Give me the ring back."
So maybe
like
it's-
morphed.
Wouldn't it be
evil.
funny if Bilbo was like totally above board for everything except for his balls were just very like old man saggy, and it was like everyone was like, "Oh man, your balls look age appropriate," but every other part of you, it's sad and weird.
I'm like balls spread over too much bread. Yeah, I have that whole movie memorized.
That'd be a good comic.
And
just
we have-
based on the ball sagginess.
And next to Bilbo YOLO Swaggins, we got one other participant here.
Mr. Ed. Wait, no, never mind.
I'm Connor. I also read the comic for this week. I hope all the listeners read the comic for this week, because we're going to spoil it.
That's true.
Spoilers lie ahead.
It's gonna be
Ahoy,
bad.
matey!
Now,
Spoilers. ahead.
Speaking of saggy balls, this comic follows a horse cyborg named Beta Ray Bill. Now, a little background. Beta Ray Bill. He's made by a dude named Walt Masterson in the 80s. He is a mortal, but the first mortal that was allowed into Asgard and to like sort of live there.
So is he mortal or immortal?
He's mortal.
mortal.
He is immortal. He can die and like will also die of old age.
He's a Corbinite.
Yeah.
he took some shots.
Yeah, he's a Corbinite. Now, Corbinite is like your average humanoid-looking race, and when he was young, he got turned into this sort of horse cyborg so that he could defend the Corbinite world against the demon god Surtur.
All the Corbites look like Saitama.
Yeah, it's the Saitama world. Spoiler:
all guys look the same.
You'd think that their planet would survive if they all looked like
Yeah.
Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think,
But
you
the
think
one
if they
punch.
can turn a guy into a horse cyborg, they could probably invent hair plugs, right?
That's- maybe
So-
Maybe they're totally smooth.
Maybe they're working out so hard they're bald.
I like the idea too, where it's like societally they like one guy they all used to have hair, and then one guy went bald, and he's like, it actually looks better. People like it better if you're bald, and that like finally got through.
The
and
Michael
so now,
Jordan effect.
I think I call that the yarmulke effect because that's how I think it started.
No.
Like it was an old Jewish priest
No.
in like 2000 BC. It was like, God said he wants us to wear these on the back of our heads.
Maybe.
That's
We have to wear it. I don't know why.
He's like, I shaved my head so it's more prominent.
But
I'm not,
your hair.
I'm not losing it. I'm covering up.
Oh, Jacob.
God says he wants it.
So Beta Ray Bill, he is a horse cyborg. Is basically like equivalent strength to Thor. Odin makes him this thing called the Stormbreaker, fills it with the Odin Force. The Stormbreaker lets him stop being a wild and gross-looking horse. I'm sorry, horse fans.
But I will say, first, he is one of the few people in the Marvel universe who can lift Mjolnir, and we find
he
that out
was.
because he, like, for a while, like whenever like Thor would lose access to Mjolnir, he was the guy who was able to use it as
But now
opposed to.
everyone
Yeah.
can lift Mjolnir.
Imagine a world
Can you lift Mjolnir?
of the 80s.
Could if I wanted, but I'm kind of old.
When only like two guys could lift Mjolnir and it meant something.
Yeah.
As opposed to like everybody and their cousin.
Captain America can lift it.
you know, Storm. The new thing in the new run of Thor by Al Johnson, I think. No, Immortal Thor.
Wait,
Al Ewing.
Storm lifts Mjolnir?
Everyone does. He throws it around to people.
But also the enchantments changed.
I mean, it's not like, you know.
because that's why what's it called? Hydra Cap could lift Mjolnir in the one thing where he becomes like a Nazi.
Because it's fun.
It's
what the readers want.
it's because they changed the enchantment, but they also didn't tell you that till the very end. So they like everyone's like, why did you write it where like the Nazi guy can lift the hammer that says that you're worthy? And they're like, I don't know. And it's like you probably should have let the
Could
damn break.
Goju lift the hammer?
Goju?
Goku?
Or Gojo?
All of them.
Gojo could probably lift it with infinity.
The 9,000. The what
I don't think
9,000?
Goku
Gojo
could.
could lift it.
Well, he could just like move it like around
Yeah.
spatially.
Goku could for sure.
Goku
Yeah.
could definitely lift Mjolnir.
Because he
it.
can,
He
he can
can-
fly on.
Goku is the most pure of heart.
no, yeah,
It's not about being strong.
No, it's about
being worthy.
No,
Yeah,
that's
Goku is
Goku's
worthy.
He can
He had a
fly
tail.
on. He can fly on Nimbus.
He's part monkey.
Goku came back from being dead like 4 different times.
Oh, I guess.
But isn't he? He's kind of like a bad parent and stuff, though, right?
There we go.
Yeah, well, so is Thor probably.
I don't know.
Thor doesn't
I-
feel like he's worth it.
Gohan seems like he's well adjusted. Gohan
Yeah.
never had to deal with anything that traumatic.
Yeah.
Other
How
than
often
watching,
is his dad around?
Never. And he's also probably had to watch his mentor and best friend die like a couple times.
Yeah, it starts wearing off after that. But anyways, it never
So-
wears off. Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, so Beta Ray Bill, he can lift Mjolnir. Odin's so impressed that he makes him this hammer. It's an axe called the Stormbreaker, which is kind of like Mjolnir, but he doesn't have thunder powers. He's not the god of thunder. Anyways, he becomes like he lives on Asgard, is a defender. He has a tiff with Thor, and Thor breaks the Stormbreaker. And importantly, Stormbreaker has the Odin Force, and it lets Beta Ray Bill revert from horse form into his old Corbinite form, which is a big deal because it lets him have a relationship with Lady Sif. And he breaks, so Thor breaks the Stormbreaker, and then is like, I'm sorry, I'll make you the man of war in Asgard. So he defends Asgard, but
Fin Fang Foom.
yeah, and that's where we start off. Beta Ray Bill doesn't have Stormbreaker. He is having trouble being with Lady Sif because he is a gross-looking horseman. And
Well, I think we should probably address the defense of Asgard itself first, because that's kind of the initial point for the story, right? Is Beta Ray Bill tries his best to defeat Fin Fang Foom and defend Asgard, but he's unable to on his own, and then Thor comes in at the last minute and steals all the glory. And that makes Beta Ray Bill feel really bad, but he's about to hook up with his lady friend, Lady Sif.
And she's like,
Don't you turn back at night? Like Isn't this
Where's
sort of
Saitama?
yeah? And he's like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm just gonna be like a weird horse guy," and then it's very sad because then it's like, "Oh yeah, no, I get it," and she's like, "Well, I'm not like blind, I can't like ignore that," and then he just leaves.
And
I thought he said that.
Nope, she did.
she did.
Oh.
So much worse.
It's so
That's-
much.
That makes that worse.
And in you know, in case you don't know what we're talking about, we say horseman because it's the closest approximation.
They're seeing pictures
But
of him.
okay, it is so much worse.
Not that
If he
bad.
just had a horse head, that would be better.
He's like skeleton horse.
It's like a horse skeleton and white eyes
it's
for
like
a head.
human head's worth of skin stretched over a horse skull.
Yeah.
With like with weird bony teeth, and it's awesome. Frankly,
Yeah. So yeah, he gets pissed at Thor, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna go fucking find Odin so I can get Stormbreaker back. You never felt bad about breaking the one thing that let me recover my my Corbinetity, my humanity, my ability to be what I was before I was transformed into this horrid cyborg."
And also, like an important aside, Stormbreaker, the reason why it was broken is that Beta Ray Bill was using Mjolnir at the time, and Thor was using Stormbreaker, and he was gifted Stormbreaker by Beta Ray Bill because Thor could not use Mjolnir.
the unworthy Thor.
My grievance was with it too is like they had to get Mjolnir out of Thor's hand, and the way that they did that was like
man,
Nick
it's the
Fury just
worst.
whispered to him. He's like, "Gore was right," and then he dropped it, and he's like, "I can't wield it anymore."
Yeah, he had
because
the-
Gore, the God Butcher, the guy who is like, all the gods are bad, and then like Nick Fury was like, he's totally right, and he's like, damn,
He is kind of.
yeah, but like then he just couldn't wield
It's
it.
like Thor is the emotional constitution of like a 9-year-old.
But
Like
regard-
just like some guy whose job it is to lie and manipulate to keep Earth safe was like, I guess that guy, your enemy, was right.
And he's like,
and Thor
"Damn."
was like, ah!
I can't wield the thing that, but regardless, the real taxing part is that Thor's broke Stormbreaker after being gifted it by like the guy who's like, this is like, my lifeline
This is
right
my
now.
Mjolnir.
Yeah. And then he broke it, and then he was just kind of like, I'll like make you like the guy in charge, and I'll give you like a shitty axe. Go for it.
So, so Beta Ray Bill is like, I'm going to go find Odin. He leaves with Scuttlebutt, which is his AI companion, which is his ship.
It is an AI companion, but it is not of the Japanese ilk. If you catch, it's not like her.
It becomes
At least not
it
yet.
becomes the Japanese.
Not yet.
ilk.
I don't like your AI was the right thing to call it because
I
it's
know.
an AI system.
I heard AI companion, and I was like, "Do you mean robot girlfriend?"
It is an AI companion.
It
It's
becomes that.
shockingly similar to Cortana from
Yeah.
the Halo series.
It's
Yeah.
it's think.
Well, I'm seeing a lot of parallels with Grok AI.
No,
That's true.
now that
Honestly,
it looks
well, I
like
was about to
Lisa-
say it becomes like very relevant because this is the Grok AI of their universe.
Yeah.
They've got this, I don't know, this like hot looking, sexy robot lady.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Oh, yeah.
Not high yet. She's a ship.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was saying hot, sexy robot AI because it's got several rooms
yeah. So
and storage.
It's
so many rooms.
And there's one room that's just full of Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, we'll get into that panel. I think that's worth a whole section.
Oh yeah. But anyways,
So he goes and finds Odin on his ship. Pip, who is a troll, followed him. He loves Beta Ray Bill. And a friend of his, a warrior who's in Valhalla, got permission from the Valkyries to join him on his quest. They go and find Odin, and he's in a fucking biker bar. And he's like he just lives there and
He's
brews
lost
his
his
own
dad.
stuff. Yeah.
And his friend's name is Scourge, and Scourge kills me. They go to the biker
Scourge
bar.
is awesome.
Scourge is
And
the best.
They're like, he's like, just talk to somebody, see where Odin's at. And Beta Ray Bill tries to talk to someone, and of course, him being hideous, she's like, oh, you're gross.
It's so
And
ugly.
this guy's like, why are you freaking my girlfriend out? And then Scourge, without saying anything, just assaults the man immediately.
He did call him
He's like,
horse
don't you
face.
say that to my wingman.
I mean,
Yeah.
to be
They're
fair,
wingmen.
to be fair, that guy was a dick, right?
What?
no,
Like,
I love Scourge. He's
Scourge
just
is
like
awesome.
he's a guy
Scourge
who
is
like,
my goat now.
he
Yeah.
loves guns, and he's like ride or die for Beta Ray Bill. That's my favorite part. Is he's just like regardless of like what you like, regardless of like whether or not it's truly warranted. Like I'll beat up you if you're
He's like,
if
"I'll
you're gonna
beat
make
up
fun of my friend.
I really love Scourge's reasoning for coming along with Beta Ray Bill too. He's like, you know what, Beta Ray Bill, I love Asgard, but they don't have any guns.
Yes.
Yeah.
They've
Valhalla-
got swords, bows, spears, but there are no guns, Bill.
He is like a gun nut, and I love that because he like was in Valhalla, like he died. Then he was like, I get permission to come back down because they have no guns. They just have a bunch of like old ancient weapons, and I just want to shoot a guy.
And Scourge kills me because half of the scenes that he's pictured in, he just looks like an insane person. His eyes are super wide and bugged out.
I think
he's like throwing people through tables and just.
Just
I think
having
a
a
good touch.
time.
I think a good touch point for Scourge is like the berserkers from Mad Max.
Yeah.
you know? Like he looks like that aesthetically, and also gives the vibe of like I'm a cyber techno warrior who's like also in Valhalla.
He's like a touch more cogent. I
Yeah,
think.
but Odin is like, look, dude, I can't. So they find him. Beta Ray Bill's like, can I get my thing back? Odin's like, I don't have the power anymore. Beta Ray Bill is like,
Which was disappointing.
yeah, it was a little disappointing.
And
But-
it's also very funny because like Odin then immediately is like, no, but like the beauty that you have is on the inside. And then like I think Beta Ray Bill is very much in his right to do that. He's just like, okay, fucking save it, dude. Like
Yeah.
you're Odin, you look great, you're the Allfather, you've got this awesome bar that's clearly going very well.
You're immortal. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I look like this. I'm the one, like everyone is constantly, all of these literal like gods are telling me like, no, just like be happy with who you are. And it's like, no, I have to live with this every day. So like, it's one of those things where it seems like a very, like this whole quest that he ends up going on is all predicated on the fact where he's like, I don't look human. I don't look like I'm supposed to look. Like, and that seems pretty like shallow, but at the end of the day, like, I feel like that's like one of the more human reasons why you would like do something like this is you were like stuck in that body and you would,
Yeah, he's not happy with how he looks.
It's
Yeah.
exactly what I tried to talk about with Scott Summers and Beak is like, yeah, of course Scott Summers is like, you should be happy with your mutations, Beak, and Beak's like,
yeah, no,
It's like, I have a fucking beak, Scott.
yeah.
it's
Should
like
I
if
just,
your
like-
name was Nose.
Yeah.
You had a giant nose.
If your name was Nosecloth.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what is I guess like from that perspective, never mind.
Yeah.
I was trying to
Continue.
No, I
Yeah.
got you.
Don't worry,
So-
this gets cut out.
Yeah. So Odin is like, look, I can't help, but you remember that dude, Surtur?
Surtur.
I'm going to need your guys' help. I don't remember what his realm is called.
Muspelheim.
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 He's like, well, there's this place called Muspelheim, and it's like hell's hell. It's literally like the hell of the gods. So like things that are,
Interestingly, hell came from the goddess Hel.
But
believe it or
I think
not.
it's more of a forge world, actually.
Yeah,
in
but all-
traditional mythology. Though as I say this, I realize how little it matters.
Yeah, but-
also, but the more important thing, the plus side, it is rent controlled. Valhalla is not rent controlled, so it really is sort of a give and take.
you get priced out of Valhalla pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's-
That's what Beta Ray Bill is struggling with. But he's like, well, you remember Surtur, the guy that wiped out your whole planet? Well, he got beaten up by somebody that I can't remember.
Thor, I think.
Yeah, it was Thor.
yeah,
it was
he-
Asgard.
Yeah, he got
all of Asgard.
Yeah, he got beat by Asgard, and now his sword, Twilight, doesn't think he's worthy. So you have an opportunity to go in there and grab Twilight. Twilight will have the power to do it, but I warn you, Muspelheim, it fucking sucks. It's so bad. Your conception of hell. 10 times that. And also, we built stuff on the outside to protect it, but I'm telling the Guardians to let you in. So they go, and the Guardians are like, look, literally no one who has gone in here has come out. And the ones, except for these people that come out, and they're clearly like demons, and we have to kill them. So if you come out like that, we're gonna murk your asses. But Odin said to let you in.
And Beta Ray Bill also has a history with Surtur. Surtur is the one who destroyed his homeworld initially.
Yep.
They only turned him into a horrific-looking horseman to fight Surtur, and even then he couldn't win.
And that's the like
Surtur's a
saddest
god.
part is
Yeah.
like he got this like power boost and like the most horrific like surgery done on him all for the explicit purpose of beating this guy, and then he didn't. And like it's kind of interesting that like it, as far as the comic is concerned, we've only seen them do a rematch in 2021, and it kind of shows that it's like no one really cared about like giving Beta Ray Bill his run back until like this point, and this guy just really loves Beta Ray Bill, and that's like it really shows like I don't know, just this commitment and like love of this character who so often is like, oh, you're like a horse guy. Like I didn't give a shit about Beta Ray Bill until I read this comic.
No.
Frankly, I didn't either. I knew who he was because he was like
And now I love him.
first guy he was stupid in the 80s. It was like some guy was like, the origin was like, I wanted to find somebody that could like go toe to toe with Bill. Or would go toe to toe with Thor.
A horseman.
And I thought, I'll get a cyborg, and he could lift the hammer. I thought that would be a good guy for Thor.
And like he
And I
he shows up just like occasionally as like this guy can also lift the hammer too. And it's
Pretty
like
wild looking, huh?
it feels like a nerd fun fact where it's like that's all. But like what I love about this story is like you feel like the love for Bill and the love for like his story like bleed off the page.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so that's really cool.
I hate his name.
Beta Ray-
Broccoli Rob Bill.
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
I know it's stupid. He's a stupid. The way that he can take a character that I think has been like kind of stupid for 30 years
and make
Oh,
me
yeah,
like
I
really
loved it.
care
and
about
make him cool.
And what's
The name
cool
is so bad.
is he makes you like care about him, like not in a way where he's like he adds like the most tragic backstory. It's like he
Yeah.
makes him like remarkably human, where it's
Yeah.
like okay, he has like a tragic backstory for like Marvel characters, but the big thing is that it's like, oh, he's like the reason why he's on this quest is because he like feels inadequate in his own body, and you're like, that is an interesting cool way to do this. And he's going into Muspelheim, like they're telling him like, hey, this is horrible, please do not come in here, you're gonna come out as a demon. And he's doing all of that because it's like he doesn't feel like comfortable in himself, and everybody telling him all of those like empty platitudes of like, hey man, listen, like Odin's like, hey man, no, you're like beautiful on the inside. He's like, fucking save it, okay?
Yeah. Also, Odin's like his only deformity just makes him look more action hero.
Yeah, like the
Like he's like, I have scars, and he just looks so much cooler because of his scars.
yeah.
Muspelheim, they go in, and the AI Scuttlebutt is now a humanoid, and it's been given like something like a soul. It seems like getting into Muspelheim has changed it.
And a cod piece.
Yeah, it's humanoid now.
And titties.
Is it a cod piece?
And
I don't know what was it? Like a big schlong?
no.
No, it was clearly a woman.
Yeah.
she
Scuttlebutt
was clearly a woman.
yeah, they literally say
Do
it.
what you want to see.
Yeah. So instantly, the ship gets attacked by these things that praise Surtur, and Scuttle turns into a boat, and then they're like, well, where do we go? And she's like, my hull's getting broken, but we need to go deeper. So she turns into like the submarine, and they go deep to like the second level of Muspelheim, which is this weird celestial squid that like goes through and infects the ship. And because the ship has all of the memories of Scuttlebutt stored, it creates like this weird menagerie of memories that they have to fight through to regain control of the ship. They regain control of the ship, they fly, and then
well,
they
it's more than just the memories, right? Because the Scuttlebutt has come alive. The Scuttlebutt has just created a body of a woman, and she takes Ray to this section of recordings she has made of him
And-
throughout his lifetime.
And she was something where like the moment that he was picked for being Beta Ray Bill, like this horrible procedure to make him strong enough to defeat Surtur, they like introduced him to Scuttlebutt, and it's like, hey, this is like your AI companion. This is Grok AI.
It's like your
She's going to be your
trusty
girlfriend.
steed, basically.
yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like something where she's been with him throughout. Like, there's this part where like he's sitting there being like, "Is this gonna hurt?" And it's like, "Yes." And like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You were gonna feel a ton of pain while like being turned into this like horse skeleton man. However, I will be with you throughout the entire thing. And so it's something where it's like, no, like she's been with him the entire time, creating those memories, recording that. And so it's like, yeah, it's very interesting, and it also makes you like have those moments of Beta Ray Bill's backstory where you're like, oh, this is like stuff that like I didn't care to read because it's like I don't want to read more Beta Ray Bill comics. It's like I'll just tell you all what's going on in Beta Ray Bill's like backstory so you can feel appropriately sad for like all of the stuff that is to come.
Yeah. So they go through the sad memory hole, and they emerge to.
It's true.
Yeah, and they emerge to what's basically Surtur's lair, where Twilight is standing, and he walks up to it, and he grabs it, and Surtur's like, "Haha, you thought. That thing is trying to test me, so you're gonna have to beat me in combat to actually take it. Surtur's like the size of a fucking skyscraper. And Beta Ray is like, well, why don't you shrink down and fight me like a fucking mortal? And so they have this sick-ass wrestling competition.
so cool.
And normally
So-
I am annoyed when a villain's like, oh, I'll make myself weaker in order to but it's so clear by the end of it that you're like, all right, he was just entertaining Bill.
Yeah, he is, maybe they're comparable fighters, but Bill is not a god in the way that Thor is a god.
And so Surtur's like, I've been waiting this whole time. You know what? And Twilight had rejected Surtur at that point, being like, you're not worthy because you got cast down to Muspelheim or Dodentyr.
Muspelheim, I think
yeah.
that's what I've been saying. So
That's right.
Yeah.
Cast down to the Shadow Realm. And it's something where it's like, okay, now he has to win back the Twilight Sword's approval. And so when he tries to do that, he is like, no, I need a worthy opponent. So when Beta Ray Bill is like, you're 8 skyscrapers tall, I can't fight you. He's like, oh, no. I'll make myself an equal opponent so then I can beat you and then I can win my sword back, basically.
It's a very particular, it's a very common particular of Norse weaponry.
Yeah.
They got a lot of weird, rules about who can use them.
And
Yeah.
a sword is a curse in Norse mythology.
Yeah,
Norse
it's
history, storytelling.
But a hammer is pretty sweet.
well, a sword is a curse because the only thing you can do with a sword is kill.
Yeah.
It's the
can't-
only thing you can
can't-
do. I can
can't-
juggle.
The,
Have you-
the difference is with a hammer you can use it to build houses, but a sword is only used to destroy. So that's
or for
what
cool, if you're
Or
missing
onions,
a scythe
chopping onions.
and you realize, oh, my scythe.
use a sword. I'm just imagining you with a long
Horrid
sword
sight.
now, just bent over a chopping board,
Yeah, just-
desperately trying not to cut your
onions.
fingers off.
I love the idea where it's just also it's you're making food with somebody and they're like, hey, do you have any knives to cut? It's like, no, but I have these great swords with which you
sick ass armory.
So, long story short, Surtur is kicking Beta Ray Bill's ass, and then the other 3 get involved: Scourge, Scuttle, and Pip. Pip does the suicide bomb thing where he gets fucked up, but he blows off Surtur's arm. And eventually Surtur's getting so jobbed that he goes back up to his normal size, but Scuttlebutt has turned herself, she's like a massive spaceship, and she's turned herself into a huge gun that Scourge uses to basically blow a massive hole in Surtur.
And when she offers herself to Scourge to shoot at him, Scourge is brought to tears.
He literally
Yeah.
brought
he's like,
tears.
thank
The
you.
joy that he gets to shoot a ship-sized
That was
gun.
fun.
That was awesome.
So Twilight is now Twilight is now Beta Ray Bill's. Scourge goes back to Valhalla. Beta Ray Bill is now he's reclaimed his Corbinite form, and that's where we end.
Which is one of he's reclaimed his Corbinite form, but I think the most special part that I think, the reason all the platitudes are so empty is because everybody thinks it's about Beta Ray Bill's ugliness. It's portrayed as if it's just the problem is that he wants to be pretty. Really, I think is the problem that is that he's undergone trauma of losing his personhood and losing he's been forced to become this monster, and returning, even if you can get your looks back, you can't undo
Oh, yeah,
all
because
of the
he
shit
sees-
that has happened to you.
He's horse guy.
Yeah.
When he looks in the mirror, it's not an issue of being oh, I'm handsome again now. It's wow, I never stopped being that guy.
Yeah,
I
what
was
have I
easily-
actually become
Yeah,
other
or
than
just
just physically?
and
It's
not even that, what
easily
have they
my
made me into?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's easily
Yeah.
my favorite panel where it's self-reflection. As far as how he sees himself as that horse guy. And at the very end, even though he has his Corbinite face back, it's I still see myself as this weird horse guy because it's this trauma, what they put me through. That's a really good point where it's no, what they put me through, this trauma that I have is what's still reflected back at me whenever I see my face.
And I do think that it's nice that Scut is there with him. Scuttlebutt is shorted to Scut for most of this comic.
Calc is short for calc. By the way,
Yeah.
joining the stream.
You were just using slang.
Yeah, we're just using
But
slang.
there's
Brunch
there's
is a different thing. Don't
There's a nice scene where Bill and Scott are looking at the sword, and it's just hung up in some goo tube. You guys know goo tubes. It's just sitting there, and he's like, I don't feel better. And she's like, it's okay. And she lays her head on his shoulder. It's
Yeah.
a
Isn't
sweet,
this-
touching moment.
Isn't this video going to go on GooTube?
Yeah, it is.
You're thinking of RedTube,
It's going
which
on
we
both.
will be
both.
posting to
Yeah.
later.
It's called Reach. It's
Yeah.
called broadening our horizon.
It's a good.
I do want to bring another important part of his Beta Ray Bill's character is also that he feels like really insecure about his role in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we talk about how he like feels like a monster because of like the mutations he put through, but he also like isn't able to protect Valhalla, or not Valhalla, but Asgard when he like Thor has to come save the day. He doesn't have his special weapon that he thinks is what will complete him. So he also has that element.
Which makes sense for somebody who's been like, look at this, his comic role has been like guy who's just a little worse than Thor, like for 30 real years. That's like how he's been portrayed.
And like, even though he's been accepted into Asgard, he's like he's an outsider, right? He's a mortal amongst immortals. He's a horseman amongst beautiful gods.
And like even in like the final, like after they beat Fing Fang Foom at the very beginning, he's standing on the edge as like everyone else celebrates. And when you actually want to get like intimate with Lady Sif, it's like, no, we can't really do that because you're a weird horse guy. And so it shows that it's like, no, you're like accepted as a guy, but you're not like accepted as like you don't have those close emotional bonds except for with like Pip and this guy who's dead and a ship. And it's like those are the people that like you can like trust in, like that like truly love you. And it's kind of cool because it's like, no, we get to like see those guys like go above and beyond for him, but then at the very end it's like he almost like is like, no, I'm doing this to get like accepted by these other people who don't already accept me.
It was a surprisingly deep commentary on self-acceptance and like healing in a way that I'm not used to for Marvel Comics.
And it doesn't,
for any mainstream comics.
Yeah.
And it doesn't like, I don't know, do this thing where it like wimps out and is like, no, like the like once you like accept who you are inside, like
We're
make
all
your
beautiful.
outside. Yeah, we're all so beautiful. It's like, no, like it actually does examine. It's like, no, you can feel like shit because of like X, Y, and Z about you. And like going on that journey to change you isn't going to like change you internally. And having him not like at the very end be like, I don't need the Twilight Sword, I have my friends. It's like, no, he still has to like get that and understand that himself. Makes it hit way harder.
Really
than
does.
like if you were like, oh no, he like uses the power of friendship to beat him.
Yeah, the last panel does recontextualize it, right? Instead of, it's like, you've won, but at what cost? Or like you've won, but have you, your character
Have you learned what you needed to learn?
Yeah,
Like, did this venture actually change anything?
Yeah.
yeah.
And the answer is no.
Or
Yeah.
did it change the most important thing? It changed things, but like,
Yeah,
did it
Is
help
there
you
something
grow
way
in a way that
different?
was
Right.
like it may like you can now feel more normal and pick things up with Lady Sif, but you still feel that you are the Beta Ray Bill. You still feel that you're the horse cyborg. That's who you are on the inside, and like
That's who you think you'll forever be, basically.
yeah, it's
I have some complaints.
Ooh,
Let me
let
talk
hear
about
it.
my alternate, the one I read the wrong issues.
The shoes on the other foot.
Let me describe them. So these were rewrites done by Andrew Tate after he gets rejected by Lady Sif.
Oh, yeah.
And becomes Alpha Ray Bill.
Is this the comic he talked about? He wants to bang a twink.
Yeah, he becomes Alpha Ray Bill.
You would be he's like talking to like Pip or whatever, and Pip's like, hey, I'd help you out to go to Moosefulheim, and he's like, no, Pip, you'd be either my food or my sex slave.
The closest he can get to accepting a real woman is when it's a machine.
Yeah.
And that's Alpha Ray at the end. Is he's like, I want to look the most like Andrew Tate that I can.
Well, which
is why he has to get his
he has,
Corviknight form
he
back.
has a full section in his ship that's devoted just to crypto trading.
That's why they keep like shutting down and the ship keeps depowering, is because they have all of
Using so much energy to mine crypto.
he's using all of his energy in order on like graphics cards and a ship.
My Cobra Tate coin.
And she's just like, can I divert some power from the like Bitcoin mining machines? It's like, no.
Oh, Scott, you're going to disrupt my Ascoin mining.
What were you saying, Connor?
I don't remember.
Dang, sorry.
Yeah, it looks like Connor's still
Just
Beta
laugh.
Ray Bill.
Hold on. Just like laugh right now.
Do you remember the part where he was like, I don't need Stormbreaker because I know jujitsu. I know Brazilian jujitsu or whatever it is.
Do you remember that
You
part when?
kickboxer.
Whatever it is.
Do you remember that part when Scourge was like, "I like guns," and Beta Ray Bill was like, "Well, actually, a knife is much more powerful up close," and then he swung a machete around, which. For all you that don't know, that's something Andrew Tate actually has done a lot.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
That's-
I listened to the Behind the Bastards on him, and he's like apparent like. So I'm quoting. I haven't personally seen it, but apparently he spent hours on his stream talking about how awesome machetes are. And the guy that like
Anytime you think he can't become worse, he's like, I'm a sex trafficker. And then I'm not to put the machete lovers and sex traffickers on the same wave, but
there's probably more overlap than we would.
It's
More
probably
than you'd think, but less than you'd hope.
he
Yeah.
was the guy that got his. I feel like he saw a machete knife or a fucking butterfly knife and was like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
No, yeah, he sees the guy doing the butterfly knife tricks on shorts, and he for the rest of that's his entire day. Like the rest of that day is spent like looking up butterfly knives. He's ordered 10 of them by the end of that day. It's but yeah, no,
Cut you off at some point, Wyatt.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, the point Robert Evans makes is like, the machete, like it's such of like a horrible masquerade of masculinity where
the
it's like
biggest knife.
biggest knife, and Robert Evans is like, you know what an actual good weapon is? A fucking gun. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Scourge
It's
understood
much
that.
better than a machete. You know what a machete's for? Cutting down vegetation.
There's
Yeah.
that fun quote that's like, God made men and Samuel Colt made them equals.
It's not even true.
God, yeah.
What do you,
No.
But
what do you mean?
what is true?
Rep what
Samuel
fucking-
Colt, did he make...
Reconstruction was a failure.
Did Samuel Colt
Not
make
all men
Man
are-
too?
Not all men are equal in the lies. Well, in our corrupt system.
But Gray,
It's like a power thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gray, what is true as far as the complaints are concerned? I mean, sorry, Bilbo Saggins.
Dildo, pagan.
There-
His real name.
There were no consequences at the end. So he takes this sword, which is clearly like an evil sword, and he has this giant battle, and so he has this evil sword, and this guy, his friend Troll, gets shot in the chest, and they're like, he's gonna make it.
That was silly.
I mean,
it's
I
but
think that, like,
also
the
so I will
point is
say
that, like, there's no growth either. There's no progress.
I would
for
say
Bill.
that's the biggest consequence is that in like the pursuit of like trying to get something to change who he is, he like
Lets his
doesn't
friends
ed-
die.
yeah,
Fails.
he
It doesn't
fails.
work.
He doesn't understand that like even though it's shitty advice that everybody's giving him, it's not that you're actually beautiful on the inside. It's that you have to accept who you are.
But the sword should be cursed.
Are you? Is that
the
your?
sword is cursed. He has to fight Surtur to get the sword. That's
I-
the
Is that
curse.
your-
Right, and it has no consequence.
There is no
This is
consequence.
such a
So I will
small
say-
complaint
No,
that it's not a
I mean,
cursed
as far as
sword.
like,
Gray is right
even
there.
if like truly I was like that they started and they ended in the same exact place and nothing actually changed, I would still say read this because of the art. Like
yeah.
the art,
Yeah, it was great.
It was
inherently something where it's like if
I was
this,
disappointed in how it ended.
yeah,
I think Pip should have died. I'm on the Pip,
Yeah.
Pip should have died gang.
See, that's where I
Pip should have died. Yeah, that would have been better.
That's where I agree with Bilbo on it. It's like I think the ending with him looking and like the mirror shot is a great ending. I think it would have been better if Pip had died.
Yeah,
I hate
because
to
he
say
like
it.
'Cause then it's
he
like-
died for like this cause
For
where he's
nothing,
like
right.
no, but at least like you look nice now, and he's like yeah, and then he looks in the mirror and then he still looks the same.
Yeah.
Also, like knowing that Pip only followed him because he looks up to Beta Ray Bill and is like, "You're a fucking hero."
Right.
And he saw the good in Beta Ray Bill that he is unable to see through that mirror.
Yeah.
It's like that would be so cool.
And Pip, like, one of the points he makes is like, I'm a troll. I also hate the way that I look. And so it would have made sense because it's like, Pip is never going to he's like, Twilight isn't going to turn Pip into something that makes him feel accepted. And it's like, in this journey for self-acceptance, Beta Ray Bill has, it's led to Pip's death. I think it would have been better. I still like the way that it ended. I just think that was like a slight missed opportunity because in terms of stakes, they really set up. They did the comic thing where like they set up Muspelheim.
And Muspelheim?
Muspelheim. They set it up as like, yeah, no one's ever come out the same, and it's horrible and awful. And Pip is just like, he's a troll and he lives in Asgard. He's strong, but like, I mean, Beta Ray Bill is like Thor level, and Scourge is like there on borrowed time from Valhalla. Pip is the odd one out, and it would have made sense for him to go.
The more we talk about it, and I'm going to get into this because I want to talk about it.
Do it.
The more we talk about all the like little details of the story, the more parallels there are between Beta Ray Bill and Shrek. Almost so many different aspects. Like Pip is Donkey 1-to-1. They're both like
is Scuttlebutt Fiona? Or is
Fiona
Twilight
thing,
Fiona?
The
the Twilight
Scuttlebutt
sword.
is like
Is Shrek a hero from the start?
Shrek is. It's both Shreks. There's
Shrek
aspects
4
of both
with
of them.
Rumpelstiltskin.
We're not talking about Shrek 3. Shrek 1 and Shrek 2, probably on my top 10 movies of all time. I love those movies.
The only canon ones,
top
along with
5.
Puss in Boots too.
my top 5. Puss in Boots is actually insanely
Yeah,
good.
that
Is it really?
Dude,
Yeah, it's
Puss
so
in Boots
good.
2 is so
yeah.
good.
I haven't seen the first one, but the second one is super good.
They made a
That's-
first
I'm
one?
So excited to hear that.
Is the second
about-
one? Is the second one the one with the wolf?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
last
that one is
wish.
It's about like,
incredible.
Yeah,
it's about
no, that one.
Yeah.
it's about death and like loss and how you cope with it, and it's really good.
And it's like it has some of the best animation like of any animated movie.
And
it's
the
so
villain in Puss in Boots 2 is absolutely terrifying.
legitimately scary.
Ooh,
and
I'm
also
so excited.
the other villain so good because he just like sucks so bad.
Yeah.
Like, the guy, what's it called? Yeah, Junk Horner is just like this total piece of shit, and he's just like a total asshole.
He's like a
very fun
Trump
to watch.
child, you know?
Yeah, he's voiced by what's his face,
John Mulaney.
Yeah, John Mulaney, and he voices him perfectly. That's such a good movie.
That's
That's
great.
like one of those movies where like regardless of the time, I'd be like, yeah, let's watch
I'm
that.
stoked. That makes me. I'm rarely.
But
normally,
back to Shrek, right? Beta Ray Bill and Shrek are parallels in the sense that like they're both like unsatisfied with their appearance. Shrek lives in the swamp because he believes that people will be afraid of him. He wants to keep people away.
I thought it was because of the slugs.
No, it's
it is
a little
well, it's the
because-
slugs too, right?
It's also
he
the rent
loves
control. Of
he
the
loves
swamp.
his swamp.
He loves his swamp.
He
but he
loves his
also
swamp.
is like clearly, is afraid of the outside world and feels that he's a monster.
Exactly. He feels that he's a monster. There are also parallels between Shrek has that whole scene where Shrek beats up a bunch of knights with wrestling moves. Beta Ray Bill beats up a lot of people with wrestling moves. Pip and Donkey are like 1-to-1. They both believe in the main character. They both themselves are this like physical thing that is not considered beautiful by the outside world.
and also like weak,
weak,
and like
exactly.
at the
Donkey's
very
funnier.
that is true.
It would have been
That's-
awesome if Pip, you know how like if
Pip,
if
just
Pip
Eddie Murphy.
married
if Pip had fucked Surtur and they had had like Surtur Pip children.
Yeah, but like I do think that's like they use their strength in like interesting ways, where it's like Pip was able to like let Surtur's guard down, blow off his arm, and like give Beta Ray Bill a chance, and it was
Yeah.
something where there was
Parallels.
like
And Donkey does-
and
he distracts the
Donkey just
dragon.
has such riz that it's like he was able.
No,
to
he
use-
distracts him. He grabs
distracts
the
Dron-
tail, I
distracts
think,
Dragon,
right?
yeah.
Oh, okay, I
In
forgot
the
about
first
that.
one.
In the
I
first
only
one, yeah.
remember him fucking the dragon, which is
That did not happen in the movies, Jack.
yeah.
Oh, they have
like,
kids.
Screen. They literally have kids.
I
though.
know
on,
that have-
on screen.
Jack said he remembered it happening
On
so I'm
screen,
wondering-
like Donkey whips out his weirdly proportionally two dragons wang, and it was like, oh my god,
Yeah,
they're
I
a
remember.
match made in heaven.
It was the cream pie too, I think.
that was
I mean,
well,
that's
yeah, they
how
had kids.
that happened.
Yeah.
That's I love the Jack's like just like, oh yeah, I think so. It's like yeah, no, that's how kids are made.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes you can use a tube
But then,
full
like,
of semen.
of course, the ending.
I can cut that part out.
turkey based.
Of course,
And
the
it-
ending.
and
Of course, the ending is different between the two films. Where the difference is like Shrek actually gets to that point where he's accepting of himself, the way that he looks, and who he is underneath.
The midpoint is different too.
In what way?
Well, the midpoint is that Donkey leaves. Yeah, he leaves. He comes back and saves him
It
at the
doesn't
end.
have to be 100%.
Not a 1-to-1.
It's not a 1-to-1. I said there are parallels.
There are.
But
there
There are
like-
parallels.
There are more. There are so many parallels.
I will.
Sorry, Connor,
you
you were
said
saying
3.
something. Connor was saying something.
That's a good
It-
point.
It's
Oh, yeah.
got Leia's.
Well,
But it's
what
like it's the idea of like the journey, and then the woman who's been there with Shrek the entire time
Who's
along the
Farquaad,
journey.
huh?
But she wasn't with
Thor is
Shrek didn't even meet her until like halfway.
No, she went on like the whole journey with them, right?
Yeah.
The journey
He went
back.
on 2/3 of the journey.
And, like Fiona's parallel is to Scott, right?
So was Scott a sister or a girlfriend?
It was a trusty steed.
Or a
It's a car.
boyfriend.
It's like a car.
It was more of a transformer.
What were you saying,
girlfriend.
Connor?
More that meets the eye.
Dang.
I think the relationship between Beta Ray Bill and his ship is unclear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was not unclear. They're like
It's
Well,
romantic.
like, implied.
I think
right?
she's into him. I think he's just like, oh, like that's cool, and she's like, I don't know, like you like my job is to literally follow and document and like help you out. So like I'm obsessed with you. And Beta Ray Bill's
"What's
like
the cod piece.
yeah, that'd be like if like your iPhone came to life as a sexy woman, and
But
it'd
also,
just be like,
Beta Ray Bill is at that point
Wait,
where he's not
Siri?
accepting of who he is, so he's not going to accept the person who embraces him for who he is, which is also a plot beat in the Shrek movies.
Yeah.
but what I like about this as opposed
he does
to Shrek,
at the end.
I didn't. Hey,
It is. Fiona and Shrek have that kiss when she's in ogre form, and then Shrek turns her over to Farquaad anyways, because in his mind, he's like, she can't really like me because of I am who I am.
yeah. I didn't
But
realize.
that didn't happen in this.
Hey,
That
didn't-
does happen.
I didn't realize that we were.
They don't kiss.
We're talking about the implication.
When does he turn her over? When does he turn the ship over?
It's not a one-to-one.
Insofar as there's a romantic interest that doesn't go great, that is the similar.
No, you know what I'm saying.
Are you that guy that's like every book is the Bible?
No, every book is a video game, Jack. We've been over
Yeah.
this.
my life is kind of like a video game.
I didn't realize that we were a triangle without a with one angle that's above 90 degrees because we got someone who's real obtuse in here.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because I only
Not
see
me.
it.
Okay, the way that you were like scrolling on your phone,
I need to find
the definition of an obtuse triangle.
a real rhombus in here.
Fuck.
That was so acute.
You're quite equilateral, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I fucking
Anybody else feeling scalene in here?
yeah. Well,
I'm trying to think of a pun for Pythagoras.
Why?
Let's just-
That's the most difficult pun that you could go for.
It's gonna happen.
Find a rhyme
The
for
listeners are
orange
gonna
while
love
you're
it.
at it.
Pythagoras, it's just
Anyways,
pretty good. I think
worst thing to try and solve. So many more immediate ones. You could be like, yeah, at least I'm not a square. Boom.
that
you
is- it doesn't make sense because that's a different shape.
Keep on triangulating.
That doesn't make sense either. I thought obtuse,
is-
really obtuse.
oh, Connor, what were you saying?
I'm with Gray in that I also thought that there was a lot that like wasn't great about the comic. I did like it, but I don't think I liked it as much as you guys.
Yeah.
Did you
I thought
understand it?
What are you?
I did understand it.
Let's hear. What are some other issues? Let's hear them.
I think it's a pretty predictable by the beat story.
Yeah.
Like you kind of know exactly what's going to happen in every scene.
Yeah.
I thought the relationship with his ship was like kind of weird for me.
Crange. Le petit crange.
It was weird.
Not just because of the romantic implications, but I just thought it was like really typical to like throw in the only female character in the comic and like she wants to bang Beta Ray Bill. Like both the females in the comic just want to do that, and she like takes on like a matronly, motherly role.
Yeah,
I think throughout
It was
the story.
peculiar, yes.
and that's not bad. It's just like kind of predictable.
I think
I did like this.
It's like
Go ahead.
it just ended up being like I was reading it and I was just like the art's good.
I really like the scene where like Bill's like, I'm uncomfortable. I don't really know how to talk to you. I'm used to you being an AI, and she's like, I know how to talk to you. And then they play fucking ping pong. That scene was fun.
I like that.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
To me, like I think you're like the things I agree with what you're saying, but I would personally I wouldn't level them at a Marvel movie insofar as like I feel like the structure is sometimes implicit in the publisher, you know? Like there's you're going to see a Marvel movie, you're going to expect a 3-act structure.
But I will say, I think that like saying like the only female person in the thing being like this like patronly, motherly person who wants to bang the main character is fair.
Yeah,
but I think it's
weird.
such a small cast that it's like it's one of those things where like they had Pip, they had Scourge, and then they were like, okay, we need to like I guess round this out. I guess we have his like ship that he uses or whatever, and so it's
And then when we zoom in a little
I
closer.
think my problem is that none of these things are bad. It's just like comes together in just a very predictable package that I didn't find very engaging from like a narrative standpoint.
And
that's-
So even
that's
though, like, I've seen Beta Bill's arc. I've seen it before. It's a good arc. Thought it was satisfying.
And
Where have you seen it before, Connor?
I didn't.
Shrek.
Perhaps in Amazon.
The ending is different.
But then
I
the other.
think there's plenty of media that follows a similar story.
Yeah, there-
Have you heard of the
And the
hero's
other-
journey trip?
The other part when we zoom in even closer on the issue with the female characters is there are actually two female characters, and both of them and they both want to fuck Bill.
The ugliest person in the entire Marvel universe.
It's like the only trait that any of the female characters have is that they're attracted to Bill in some sort of way, which is like a very strong criticism of this.
I'd hardly call Lady Sif a character, almost like a catalyst in this, where she like becomes someone who you basically have like the reason why Bill goes is like sort of a microcosm of his relationship with Lady Sif, where like
it's the
the
exciting
only reason why he's like going on this journey is because he feels othered by people, and you can see that in a very like human, real way from like how she interacts with him. So like it's one of those things where I think that's fair to see that. I wasn't necessarily offended by that because like I guess like I thought it was just kind of weird that like the like AI became like a hot, sexy robot anime lady, but it's one of those things that didn't bother me as much. And I can understand being like, yeah, there wasn't like much like meat to this story, but I will say the main reason why I recommended this is because one, it's 5 issues, so it's like incredibly you can like get through it very quickly, and you have like pretty much like a 5-issue arc, almost like beginning, middle, end, the entire thing, and then you also have incredibly cool art that you basically get to look at.
enjoyed
And, like
it.
that's the main reason why I liked.
I mean, I totally agree. Like, the art's great. It's a succinct story. I think all those things are, like, totally true and fair.
The only thing I'll push the only thing I'll push back on is like I don't. I feel like I've seen arcs similar to Beta Ray Bill, but the ending really surprised me, and I appreciated it because it wasn't happy. It wasn't happy, and I'm so used to seeing.
It should
like-
have been so sad, though.
Yeah, but
And I honestly like it's one of those things where like I've never seen a piece of media not let the guy be like, you know what, I am beautiful on the inside,
Yeah, right,
and then he
that's
becomes
true.
happy at the end.
I was
Is that-
glad that didn't happen.
Which
yeah,
is,
and like
it's
that's never
Disney owned,
realistic.
right?
Yeah,
Like, it's Disney owned, so that's what I was expecting. I was waiting for the panel where he was like, "The power is from believing in myself."
Yeah, and you're like, okay, cool, awesome. But then, like, in this one, it was something where I thought it was an interesting take to be like, no, you can't, like, necessarily, like, convince someone of that. Like, someone who's, like, been through all of that trauma is going to be like, no way, like, all of this, I can reverse all this trauma by getting something that'll, like, make me look like I looked back when I was, like, a kid
Yeah.
who, like, hadn't been through all
But the
this.
troll could have died. The ship could have died.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been sadder. I would have appreciated.
Also,
there,
I
there
will
were
say-
a lot of things at stake that just never.
Like, I wouldn't be
Or
surprised
can't, you know.
if, like, weirdly enough, Marvel editorial was like, Pip
Yeah.
can't die, because Pip is an oddly reoccurring character. He's a part of, like, the Infinity Watch. He held an Infinity Stone for a while.
He's
I
big,
just
yeah.
reread Infinity Crusade, and he almost becomes, like, King of the Universe. It's very weird. It's... He's so I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, you can't kill the fan favorite
You
Pip.
can't kill Pip at all.
Speaking
He
of
holds all the stones.
he's too powerful for even the writers.
Speaking of Marvel editorial, I'd like to draw attention. We always do favorite panel. I had a panel in this one that I think is worthy of its own section. If you guys wanted
yeah.
to go to it, it's
Issue
on
2?
issue 2, page 4. The one
You'll be
that
seeing it right there.
the one that bifurcates the ship. Now,
Nice use
Oh,
of the
that was
word
the best.
bifurcation.
pull it up, because I have some things.
No,
that-
I remember it.
No, you're not. You're
You
not
don't
going to
have
remember.
perfect recall.
Pull,
Maybe you don't.
Test me.
No, I'm serious. I want to show you
You're
specific
an ape.
parts of it. I will. This is our little panel dissection section. One thing that I think is worth mentioning is the nice dynamic movement in this panel. You've got Beta Ray Bill moving from the ping pong table all the way up through to the galley. I think that's one of the high points of this comic in general, is good dynamic movement. But I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that the author of this little story, Daniel Warren Johnson is in fact living in the ship.
The front, yeah, he's drawing.
He's in the very
that him?
He's at the very bottom right, and he's drawing. And not only is he drawing, he's drawing a rough outline of the ship that he's
yeah.
sitting.
So cool.
And
That's
you'll notice to the left, he has a little living room with a library and a Red Sox banner. He's born in Boston.
yeah.
that's awesome.
Now
He has a
under
bunch of
there,
comic
he has
book boxes.
He has his comic book box section.
So cool.
Now, if you move to the left, you'll notice someone praying to a shrine. I'm pretty sure that's a picture of Will Eisner. I did some research on it. It looks a lot like the man. So if you go up if you go up a story, and to the right, you'll see the Marvel editorial section. So not only is Marvel editorial something that might have messed with the structure of the comic, it's literally in the ship. The things that he's writing are getting checked on the ship itself. To the left of the Marvel editorial section is one of Daniel Warren Johnson's characters, Murder
Falcon.
Murder Falcon.
That's cool.
So,
awesome.
Not only that, I would take it from this that he probably plays guitar, because there are guitars both in his drawing room.
It's a comic book about heavy metal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there are guitars in Daniel Warren Johnson's room, and there are guitars in the Murder Falcon room. If you go
And the next records to the left.
Yep. If you go up a floor, the section where Beta Ray Bill is walking out, there's a poster of the Disney short film Destino. I can't say for sure. I'd imagine Daniel Warren Johnson is a fan, given that earlier in this, the Hook movie is playing, and the Hook movie is also playing at the very end. And in the back sections, there's fan mail, and someone asked, like, why did you have Hook? And he was like, well, it's just a movie I really liked growing up, and it seemed thematically to match. So I'd imagine Destino is just another movie that he likes. One thing I'm not sure about is in the bottom left corner of the ship, there appears to be a sad woman in a wheelchair that can't get up these ladder stairs. I don't know if this is a reference to something or not. But yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and if we're talking about Hook, like Hook is thematically appropriate for Beta Ray Bill because it's about Peter Pan returning to Neverland, but he's old now. He's gone back to the real world with Wendy, and he's aged. And the movie is about Peter Pan. Can I still fit in with the Lost Boys? Can I still fight Captain Hook? And he does. It's a different ending to the film where it's like, oh yeah, like Peter Pan is still one of us, but he's still going back to the real world with Wendy at the end of Hook.
Yeah.
And I think that that's interesting just because it's like that's the like lesson that he should have learned, but instead it was like, no, he like didn't learn that as like a character, or like he gets back and like he can still fight with like some of the Lost Boys, but then he's like, no, but I like can't return home. Like there's no like, oh, I can't become like normal again.
It's more like Peter Pan realizes like, I love all you guys, I care about the Lost Boys, but I can't stay here.
Yeah.
Like I have a life somewhere else. Whereas like Beta Ray Bill is kind of stuck in the, like, if he were to be Peter Pan in Hook, he'd be like, I'm stuck in Neverland. I'm doing everything that I can to look like I'm not stuck here, but I'm still stuck here. I haven't made the meaningful changes to get out.
Which is really interesting to draw as like a parallel to that. That's super cool.
Yeah. I mean, I just thought it was cool that you've got the artist drawing himself on board the ship, and also the editorial staff, and there's another person upstairs who is doing stuff on the computer. This is only about a 4 or 5 man team that made this comic. So
I think it's even smaller. I think it's a 2-man team.
Oh no, there's including the editor. At the back portion, like, so they have fan mail at the back of each of these, and they reference like a 5-man team. So like the whole team's on the ship, which I think is
so
really cool.
awesome.
And
If we're talking about panels that we really liked, are we?
Yeah, I mean, this is a good
I
transition
think
into that.
there's one more thing. I want to figure out where he went to school.
He went to something. It's not Santa Clara University.
Northwestern.
It's like no, it's something that he has an SCU banner.
Yeah.
and I think that I haven't found out what that is. My thought was Secure Containment Unit.
Oh yeah,
unit. I think
containment procedures or what?
yeah,
SCP.
Or I was thinking Secure Containment Unit. My thought is just like that might be a spot like that isn't a self insert. That might be an actual like that's where something Beta Ray Bill goes into. One other interesting thing is some of these areas are, specifically Daniel, specifically the author / artist, Daniel Warren Johnson. His section is completely secluded from the rest of the ship. There is no way for Beta Ray Bill to access it, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's not true for the other parts, but
That's so cool.
yeah.
If we're doing favorite panels, I want to. Yes.
SCU, SoCal Uncensored, American Professional Wrestling.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that he's a huge wrestling head.
Yeah.
Obviously, I really like the. I have a couple favorite panels actually. I really like the artwork in this. One of my favorite panels is when there's a scene where Surtur is kicking Bill in the face, and you see like the indent of the heel in
Yeah.
Bill's cheek.
Yeah.
And then you can also see like the air rushing out behind the kick to show like, yeah, he's kicking him really fucking hard. And then the other favorite panel I have is just it's the one where they're talking to Odin, and I like this for a really strange reason. And if you look at Scourge in the background, his eyes are crazy and his mouth is like strangely fixed to a beer bottle. And he's like, whoa.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
It's a little detail that speaks to the way Scourge is portrayed,
Dude.
that could have been completely left out.
Issue
Yeah.
2, every panel that has like, I think the thing that sets this comic above in a lot of ways is how often it made me chuckle.
Yes.
Like I very rarely read anything that makes me chuckle. And like the second Scourge is like, ah, yes, Wingman.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, this guy's awesome.
I love the scene where he's like throwing somebody through a table and he's like, Pip, we're glad to see you. He's got
Yeah.
the crazy eyes.
Or when he gives earlier, it's like, see, useful.
Speaking of SoCal Uncensored and like the Surtur thing, I think one thing that so my favorite panel is obviously the one we just went through. I think it's great. But I think
Same.
that something that is worth maybe even discussing a little bit is the influence of professional wrestling on the art style. Like every fight scene reads like WWE style. Like what's that move? Trip the clothesline.
The lariat.
He does the lariats. You've got full. He suplexes Surtur.
Yeah.
You got like the full like pile drive.
He Irish whips a guy too, where you throw him out and pull him back.
Yeah. And he even gets asked about it in the fan section, and he's like, "Yeah, I just like." I don't remember exactly, but he's like, "It's not even." He's like, "I just think it's a very dynamic way of drawing, and it's something that like I really like." And
Is that the pull into the lariat?
Yeah.
That's in issue 2 as well.
yeah.
And like I love the poses in this, like the viscerality of having everybody be like this like sketchy, like intense pose where like they're not always drawn on model, they're always drawn with like this like really like extended quality when they're in the fight scenes where like you'll see like guys getting thrown down and they feel like they're like made of putty where it's like they're like extending and you can really like feel the impacts of everything that they're doing. Or in the case of like Bill roundhousing Surtur, you can feel the non-impact because you've been seeing so many people like getting hit like that. So it really makes every fight scene like feel visceral in a really cool way.
It's like
And he's-
Disney rule where you're supposed to exaggerate every single movement and every single reaction.
And that's why wrestling is the perfect way to draw his fight scenes.
Yeah.
Because the way wrestling is set up is so all these fight scenes, these fight moves, which aren't really happening in wrestling, so they look like they're happening.
Yeah, because you have to really. Also, I'm looking at that panel right now where he's like sucking down on the beer bottle, and it is just so silly when he's like, "Pip, you're here."
Yeah, we missed you. And someone is face first through a table
he's
next to him.
There's one more thing that I didn't like.
All right,
No.
tell us.
In the same way in The Watchmen that there were all these random, like, bad guy punks. In the bar, they were the same random bad guy punks.
You're mad that there was a fight in a space bar?
No, but do they always have to look like just
Punk rockers.
middle of the road punk guys.
Yeah, why couldn't he have gotten in a fight with a bunch of space cops?
I think it would be fun because, like, what I don't see a lot in those bar fights, which is truly where all the bar fights come from, I'd want a bunch of, like, weird space finance bros, where it's, like,
Yeah,
a bunch
that
of
would
weird
be cool.
space
Yeah.
finance bros who are, like, just a little too drunk, and they're the people being assholes. Like, that would be so much better than, like, the space... Because, like, the space punks is a shorthand, but, like, I'd love to see, like, a bunch of guys being like, do you know, like, where I work or whatever? Like, I pull down 6 figures every single...
My dad,
401k.
They're wearing like space Ed Hardy t-shirts.
my dad owns a dealership.
What, like, I guess a space what's it called, what's the puffer vest, or like the thing with like the arms cut off, yeah, it's one of those space. It's like the regular coat but with an arm.
Yeah,
with an
I
arm
know
like
cut
a
off.
Patagonia. Like
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
a
I'm picking
space-
up what you're putting down.
A space Patagonia puffer vest looks like a space or a regular Patagonia puffer vest because they're all puffy. So
Or
I'd
they
assume
could look like regular people. I mean, they don't have to have like a 9-foot mohawk. They could just, or they could be.
No, great. I agree with you, but for a different reasons. So I don't know if I actually agree. I think, part of the Beta Ray Bill struggle is that he doesn't look normal. And I'm like, how are we in a space odyssey, but everyone is a human? Like, why does
that's like
was like a complaint I had. Like, I wish they were a freak monster. Like, I was like reading it initially. I was like, why does he care about his appearance? Like, isn't that just how he looks all the time? And like, even going forward, I was like, why is everything just like a basic ass human?
that's like I feel like
aren't we in?
such a like every single. It's a big problem in every sci-fi I see. Really, is like
That is true.
why are they all bipeds?
yeah.
Where are
And
the crabs at?
It's also something where it's like because he's like in like Valhalla or because he's in like Asgard, like that's the reason why he feels so othered is because everyone just looks like a human. He looks like a weird horse guy, whereas like there's probably a planet of guys who like look pretty similar to him. But also to that same point, he is a guy who has grown up around guys who like were just like bald people basically. So like what he finds beautiful is those people, and like people like Lady Sif who are like regular humanoids.
She's not bald though.
He was getting there. He was trying to do the soft
That's what
snow.
he would have done next.
Yeah, he would have done that eventually.
Have
But
you thought
like,
about getting a haircut?
he like only like appreciates the beauty through that, and so like seeing himself, he doesn't appreciate his own beauty because he's like, if I saw someone looking like me, I would be like disgusted by me too. And so it's like, yeah,
No, I totally get that, and I get like why they might have even chosen to make them look like humans, just to like further
It's just easier, probably.
bring like the freakish qualities of him,
yeah, it exacerbates those.
and like for like exacerbate.
I would have fucked him.
I just thought it was like I don't know, like we're in a space bar, but it's like just 3 human dudes.
Yeah.
I think that there's a point to that though too, to be like even among the freaks, Bill still stands out as the ugliest.
Yeah.
right?
I agree.
Yeah, I kind of that's what I said earlier.
Yeah, that is what you
I
said.
did say that.
I also think
I just think I just wish it was different.
I feel that that's a fair complaint. I liked it. I think that it's like kind of it's kind of playing on the set piece of like the biker bar fight scene.
Yeah.
And I think that like this is kind of a rule of cool thing where I think it just looks aesthetically a lot cooler for him to be fighting these these cyber space punks than like regular finance bros. Because like it is the frat guys and the finance bros that start most bar fights, but like
And you should really beware of the finance bros.
yeah,
Because they can't afford a lawyer.
Yeah.
And they can afford cocaine,
and
which is a powder form of fight starter.
and they can organize themselves into a class that's capable of overthrowing your government.
Let's not
That's
bring
true. The-
class into this.
It
Shall we rate it?
I think
I
I
think
still
we
have
shall.
some. I haven't done my pick
Oh.
panel yet.
I'm sorry.
What is it?
Mine. Well, I have. First thing I want to point out, maybe it's probably not worthy of its own section, but I marked 2 or 3 more Galactus helmets.
Were they
where are
on
they?
strong
Surtur,
people?
Surtur, simply.
Oh, I did see one.
The people guarding the gates to Muspelheim.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
That's how you know they were the real deal.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, how do you know these are very serious guards? And I was like, they got big fucking Galactus
They
helmets
have
on
to be
them.
like the C Squad. Like Odin was like, yeah, I got some guys watching this thing, and I just felt like those guys really could not have been like the crack squad because they're out in the middle of nowhere guarding this thing no one knows about.
But they have the Galactus helmet, so
Oh.
then it's like,
Yeah.
you're like,
That
all
should
right,
be a giveaway. Right?
those are the real deal fellas.
Do you remember the Galactus helmet from Powers of X? If we didn't put one, in the last episode, maybe put a picture of.
Did someone
up
have one?
here. Yeah. Wow.
The Technarch.
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably would have had to read the correct issues to get it. But yes, it was the most power. It was like 15 billion Prim Darks or something.
Phalanxes.
That's 1 billion too many Primdarks, if you ask me.
But it was like, do you know how powerful I am?
Well, also-
look at my head.
And then
The thing they were ascending into had a Galactus helmet.
Yeah.
So well, of course we're ascending into that. It's got a fucking Galactus
And
helmet.
these guys, clearly they're not that strong. Not all of them. They don't all have sweet, horns. Only one guy, and his is more of a samurai, but it's
Yeah.
still in the, it's Kirby-esque.
Yeah, but he
Or,
gets...
is that Jack Kirby?
yeah,
it's Jack Kirby.
What's the other? What's the other?
So mine is a Scourge panel in issue 5. It is when she turns into
The gun.
a giant gun, and he's brought to tears.
Oh, that's such a good panel.
He's weeping as he holds the gun. Actually, I have 2. He's like, thank you.
She's like, don't thank me, just kill this guy.
Yeah, and I think it's issue 3 is the other one I like, is when they're fighting. And they are in the lava going down. And I'll show you now. They're protecting the ship, and they're tunneling down into lava. And he's like, Scourge, punch it. And Scourge is like, I love buttons.
yeah.
And he's like, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
That line shouldn't make me laugh, but it's just like,
Scourge was like consistently made me laugh, which for a comic is like so rare. Like there are very few like comic panels that can make me like out loud chuckle, and Scourge did that a couple of times in this.
He worked for me too. There was, I think it was the scene where he just slaps the guy without saying anything.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud.
after he insults Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't you say that about my wingman."
Yeah, that was awesome. I also, there's that. Yeah, those are my favorites.
What about Saggins and Cooner?
There were some cool things that it reminded me of when I was a kid, the things that I loved about being a kid, like being on the spaceship with like all of those rooms.
Yeah,
I loved all of those rooms.
Pinball room.
Also, I don't know. I meant to comment earlier. Did you see that there was an outfit room and that all of the various costumes that Beta Ray Bill had won were hung up on the wall?
Yeah, I did notice that.
And then like when they were diving into the lava, it reminded me of like a bunch of 80s movies that were like, and now we're diving into the lava.
Yeah.
Just stupid 80s movies.
But executed with like
Sincerity.
such care and sincerity that it like made like he was able to show me like or remind me why those 80s silly thing like those 80s biker bar fights are cool,
Or like I'm damaged. The ship is damaged. I have to concentrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
90% down.
We're at 80% shields.
20% hull integrity.
Yeah.
So Star Trekky,
Yeah.
which I love.
Me
Yeah.
too. And he did it in a way that was like, I don't really. It's hard to analyze how he makes it work so well, but like, it was a sincere homage done in such a unique style that it didn't seem like he was ripping off.
And I also think if we read like 10 issues of this, it would grate on me. But the
Sure,
fact that it was
yeah.
like, we basically read like 30 minutes worth of comics of like just hardcore balls to the wall, like fun shit. It was like, oh no, this is just like such a fun, brisk read that like I didn't have to like dwell on that too much.
Though I would read more.
Oh yeah.
I'll read more Daniel Warren Johnson, yeah. And not everything he writes is great. He did a Wonder Woman comic, which was terrible.
You don't like
Really
women.
not helping that woman hating. we introduced
I just couldn't
earlier.
smile how the tables turn.
We should so we should
I'm-
read.
I'm kidding. I'm
Next,
giving
we
you a
should
hard
read
time.
Do a Power Bomb.
I'm about it.
It's WWE main character's a girl.
And you
And he
still
liked
like it.
And she behaves as a human being.
How rare.
How rare in the comics.
Conor, what about you?
Gunor.
Yeah, I feel kind of lame because you guys brought up all my favorite. Like all three of the panels, I thought were my favorite.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ship dissection is a great scene. I love this panel that Tripp brought up where he kicks the kicking motion and you have the onomatopoeia in the background. It's just such a dynamic and good picture.
Yeah.
I'd also argue that if all of us have like similar favorite panels, it means that the artists have done their job well, because that's like what they've want to put their thought and like care into, and then we're all like, oh yeah, that's awesome, those were good, and then it's like, cool, we intended to do that.
And like my other favorite parts were like the ship transformations.
Yeah.
I thought were like actually pretty creative.
Mm-hmm.
I liked seeing those like in the so like turning into the battleship, turning into the gun. I thought those were fun.
Yes,
That's
yeah, those are some of my favorite moments. And we talked about it a little before we started filming, but how he borrows like onomatopoeia techniques from manga, and so instead of like having like "swoom" be the sound as he catches the axe,
He goes catch.
or like when he goes to grab with suplex Surtur, it's just a giant bolted grapple.
Yeah.
Grapple. I
And
was
then
like,
there are instances where actions are coming in from off of the panel itself, or onomatopoeias are going outside of the panel.
Yep.
And that's a technique that I've seen in manga pretty frequently
way
as well.
more than in Marvel.
But yeah,
It adds like a dynamism, I think, to the
Yeah,
panels.
it does.
into a hecticness that captures the energy of a fight.
and because you're reading it, it doesn't come across. It's not like some guy off screen going catch. It's like literally just you're reading it and you're like, no, that like flows naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Shall we rate it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I think it's, at least to me, just because it's like so svelte, I think it's like a 5 out of 6, because it's one of those things where I'm like, it excels in so many like different ways. Like, I don't think it's like life changing, and I know that there's plenty of like things to be said against it, but I think like its brevity and its ability to like tell a really cool story while having like amazing art is like something that I really loved about it.
I will give it.
And it's Kaido from One Piece, by the way.
Okay, why is it? Do you want to explain that?
No.
Okay.
Don't worry, Jack. You'd only have to read like 1,000 issues to get it.
Real ones would know what that means.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Thank you.
I, being the teacher that I am, give it a 95, maybe 95 and a half. The only thing preventing it from being 100 is that I felt like the ending could have been more bittersweet. It was, I liked that he wasn't like he didn't save the girl and realize, I like that he still has to figure out like why he doesn't feel whole, but it could have been, it was wrapped up a little cleanly. But other than that, the way that women were handled, while not like, I feel like they didn't detract points the way the women were handled, but it certainly is. Maybe it did detract points.
It certainly
but
didn't
not
add
enough
any.
to be.
Yeah.
It certainly didn't add in a way that, like, to get 100%, you would have to.
Yeah.
So, the other week, I ranked based on the Batman cinematic universe. This week, I'm going to rank based on the Batman comic universe.
Ooh.
And the comic that I'm going to bring up, I don't think it's as good as this comic, but I think it functions in the same way of the character's canon. I think that this section is like Dark Knight Rises for Beta Ray Bill, in that it takes a character that before this was just this weird, hokey character that was just made in the 80s and was kind of silly, that didn't have any purpose, and it was picked
Bane.
up by Batman. Because Dark Knight Rises, before, like, the big thing about Frank Miller's run is
Oh, I thought you were talking about the movie.
Return. Dark Knight
Returns. I'm sorry. Dark Knight Returns. This is a Dark Knight Returns. Because it takes a character that before this was very sort of hokey and silly, all these gadgets and
Batplane.
and then was picked up by a writer / artist who thought, I think that this character has a lot in them that hasn't been dealt with in a way that really respects the character, and I think that they then tell a great story. I don't think this is as good as Dark Knight Returns, but that's kind of hard to compare to. It's one of the best comics ever. I just think it's similar. It does a similar thing to Beta Ray Bill. where it takes this character that's like a silly 80s character and gives them a real ass story and like a respectable arc that is worthy of like thought and care. And so that's like a 5 out of 6.
Yeah, and I think it also doesn't like attempt to go Dark Knight Returns with it, where it's like Dark Knight Returns really tried to like make a statement, make like a lot of like broad sweeping, like, okay, this is like what Batman is, what he stands for as a symbol, whereas this was like a guy who liked Beta Ray Bill, and he was like, hell yeah, I'm going to tell a good Beta Ray Bill story. And so like I think that's that's like such a good way to like put it and like frame it. I think
it's kind of like the Animal Man thing. Again, Animal Man is probably better, but you're up against like, I think it's also on like, I'm worried if the author ever hears this, because the reality is we're only ranking like 5 issues, and they're pretty great issues. And comparing that to Animal Man and Dark Knight Returns is putting you on an unfair footing because they had full trades to,
But you rated him that, so that's quite nice.
You did agree. It's great. Very, very solid.
They have similar roles.
Yeah, and that's a 5 out of 6. That's a Likert scale.
Yeah, that's true.
In case you're
It's a
curious.
Likert scale.
Oh yeah.
It's on a Likert scale, so
What's that again?
it's a Likert. It's like
I like her a lot.
I like her.
Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right. I
Well-
like it a lot. That's the funniest thing you've ever said.
A lot. That would be a 6. That would be strongly agreed.
Yes. Absolutely.
So I think a lot of things about this comic were very familiar to me. How like Bill is someone who struggles to accept himself, even other things notwithstanding. It's an experience that I've been very familiar with, especially like the idea of being surrounded by like very attractive people, conventionally attractive.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
if we're going to get into it, like when I played football in college, all my friends were
No,
wide
go on. Don't
receivers
worry
or
about it.
cornerbacks. They were secondaries.
I thought you were talking about
So they were all like very thin, had a very athletic build, and I was a defensive lineman. So I was a big boy. So a lot of that like difficulty accepting yourself is something I've had a lot of experience with. And I think that this comic tries to capture it really faithfully, but I think at times it does not fully succeed.
For sure.
So
yeah.
And I think just because, and we've talked about this before, when something tries to be more than it is, sometimes it damages our ability to enjoy it. So just his attempts to capture that and some of the failures to me made me enjoy it a little bit less. I didn't like the story as much. I think the artwork is great. I think the fight scenes are dynamic and they're excellent. I think Beta Ray Bill is the reason that I invented the 6-star scale. So that this is, I give it a 4 out of 6 because I think it's better than average, but I don't think that it's great.
Boo.
I know.
Boo.
I'm being harsh. I'm being harsh.
It's 66%.
Yeah.
It's agree.
It's a Likert scale.
Well,
It's a Likert scale, guys.
that is true.
God, so
Saggins or Connor?
Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, similarly to Trip, two brothers, very similar thoughts on the comic. Thought it was good. Thought it was a serviceable story. Kind of like treads familiar ground. I think like other stories can do more interesting things, but I think in the realm of comics, pretty like individual story, like very psychological story, and I think we need more of those in comics in general. I think if we were talking about like ancient empires, I'm not going crazy with it this time. I'd have to say it's like, I don't know, like a Sassanid, like some random Sassanid, not one that you learn about in school because they're not like that big of a failure and they're not that big of a success, right? They just like do their
run of the mill Sassanid.
Yeah. Like they keep their head above water. It's like, yeah, and like
they might even maybe they conquered Syria once and then lost it again to the Romans.
yeah.
Boo.
That's like pretty typical, So I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
Man, we got some short-armed folks. Can't reach those grapes.
Quite sour.
Can't reach those grapes.
I think part of my criticism too is I've just been like reading a lot of stuff that's bad. So I'm like, I read this and it's not like getting that like quality that I really want out of something. So I think it's more of a mood thing. You know, I think if I was in the mood for it more, I might rank it higher. But
It does need to hit you in the right spot where it's like, yeah.
Bilbo, what? Do,
I mean, I've just been consuming slop, you know, and this is like a little bit better than slop.
What are you?
But
You've been reading that.
What kind of slop
that,
are
like,
you
a little bit better than
that like
Slop.
Court of,
Okay.
It's like you've been reading that like Court of Fairies series, huh?
I love how you're reading A Court of Fairies and you're like, there's slightly more integrity and thought that goes into this.
So think about it like this, right? Like, what's your favorite?
Were you a philosophy major?
No.
Better.
I think Court of-
He's a classics major.
Oh, you were a
and Beta Ray Bill, not one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, you know your classics, Connor.
like you know what? Like Court of Thorns and Roses is like something it's like vegetables, you know, but like not cooked well, like steamed broccoli. That's like what Court of Thorns. Like,
Any
I
sauce?
like steamed broccoli.
I love steamed
I love steamed broccoli.
I think you mean
Listen,
boiled
you can live off
boiled
steamed
carrots.
carrots. Boiled carrots, sure. It's like boiled carrots, you know, like they're like fine.
Yes.
You know, like they're for some people, but they're not for me.
And you know,
honestly, this is more like a grilled cheese. Like I like a grilled cheese, but it's not like something I crave all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like craving like a big meal. You know, like a delicious steak.
and like if you were in the mood for a grilled cheese, it would hit. Like it would just be like, oh
yeah.
hell yeah. But it's also, I also think that if I was to compare them to like foods, I would say it's probably grapes that are slightly out of your reach.
Yeah, that you just can't reach. And so you're just like, so sour.
Actually, like, if we're gonna do another scale, we're gonna do the mac and cheese scale, right? This comic book is thick and creamy,
Yeah.
pretty good. Not as good as homemade mac and cheese, but still good, right? And it's not transcendent. It's not elevating the concept
it's
of
not
mac
a transcendent work, but I feel like
You know, I
it
think
reminds me of
it's like a-
Taika
and cheese. It's a
Waititi
hot
movie.
take.
it's like a Concord grape. You know, it's like
Yeah.
if you most people, connoisseurs would eat it and be like, oh yum, and they'd
so
spit
good.
out the pit.
It's
but
gotta
you'd
have-
eat it and be like, oh, what's that crunchy
That
thing?
crunch
inside?
is so bitter.
so sour,
So bitter.
It's, probably sour,
Yeah,
but
I
they can't reach
even
it.
reach it. Guess
Yeah,
it's
well,
sour.
the thing is, I just look at grapes and I go, that's got to be 80-90% seed, right?
Yeah, of course.
And the rest is sour.
The rest is sour too.
Yeah.
So Saggins, what?
So, I thought this was fun. I enjoyed it. Last week, my scale was catheter, which you may or may not remember.
We do.
I thought it was a good thing to be on a catheter because it just takes the pee away.
That's true.
And
We may or may not have agreed.
some people,
It was unanimous.
some people thought that was bullshit. And am I sad about it? Yes.
He's crying right now.
Am I angry about it? Yes.
Wait, so is this week a colostomy bag?
I'm going to give this a colostomy bag.
An ill-fitting colostomy bag out of 10.
So I thought this was fun. It was a good build-up. There were no consequences, which I thought was disappointing. And they built consequences into it. They were like, "You better not come back with your black eyes, or we'll kill you." And then the ship was like, "We don't have to go farther." There were a lot of consequences built into it. They were like, and at the end it was like, "Oh well, there aren't any. Fun, huh?" But I liked it. I'm gonna say, based on my scale of last week being a catheter, it's like when you wake up in the morning and you don't really have to pee.
That's never happened to me.
Because you peed in the bed, right?
Yeah.
It's nice and warm.
It's everywhere.
I mean, it's nice. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's good. It could be better. You could be there with a nice, cute guy or whatever.
That's true. Yeah.
So on a scale of 1
or
to
a
6,
horseman.
that sounds a lot like a 4, Gray.
It's how I feel about
I mean, Bilbo.
about pecan Snickers.
Sandies.
Like I saw the pecan Snickers and I was like, this could be it.
Does sound good.
Yeah.
This could be it. And I had one and I'm like, it's pretty good. You know?
Candy bar.
I like it. It's actually no, because I like this a lot. Like this captured this captured a funness that I haven't read.
Episode 5 would have been more. Oh, like
Yeah,
Yeah, I
more like long.
agree. I think there's there's something to be said for pieces of art that allow us to sit in uncomfortable feelings, and this avoided doing that by taking
did.
away any consequence.
Because in episode 4, I was worried about the horse guy. I was like, and
Is he ready to I'm not worried that I think he's ready to fight.
And his trans ship
Transformer
His
ship.
Transformer ship, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, and she's surely going to die, or he's surely going to die.
I don't know that his ship is trans, though. It's like pretty clearly established that she's a she.
Yeah.
Well, also, like,
ships
I will say,
ships are female.
And at no
when
point,
she turned
at no
into
point-
like the
Transformer.
ultimate,
It's a spectrum.
I know, but
when she turned into the ultimate
in
gun.
defense of our trans audience, I don't know that the ship is a good allegory for being trans.
I don't think
It
you're
is
going to find representation.
transforming.
But I will say, like, when she turned into the gun, I was like, oh, that's like
Yeah,
the end of her.
that's
Like, I thought she was
trans.
going to shoot off all her power. That would have been a
Trans
cool
as
ending.
fuck right there.
Yeah, exactly. Shoot off all her power.
This is a man above 40, in case anybody
But,
was curious.
He's actually 111 today.
This is a man that fought in the Great War.
111th birthday.
It's like some balls spread over.
I know
too
half
much
of you, less
bread.
than half of the.
But thanks for watching, dear
Yes.
listeners. Come back for when we read Power
Don't
Bomb.
ever change.
Up next.
Do a power bomb.
Do a power bomb.